All right, folks, working on the 2010 Honda. It's the Odyssey. It's got the big 3.5. Winter's almost over, so it's springtime. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I like that pun. This thing needs some new springs. It's got little saggy pants in the rear. It's got broken springs in the front, or at least a broken spring, but it's getting real droopy in the back. So we're going to pop some new rear springs in it, which typically isn't too bad job of here in the Northeast with the salt. Usually these cam bolts are seized up. I just did the other side. It was stuck like crazy. Had a hard time getting it out. A lot of air hammering, beating. So we'll see how this side goes. And you have to get those loose because that's your toe adjustment on the rear. And with the new springs, it's likely it's not going to be sitting correctly. So we're going to have to do a wheel alignment, and we're going to want to be able to adjust those. So first thing first, we're going to stick our transmission jack underneath this little guy. We're going to take some pressure off it. We have to take the bolt out of the knuckle out here. I just got a little 4x4 sitting in here, so you can jack her up here, take some weight off it. So if you're doing it on the ground, obviously the car would be on jack stands, and then you'd use a floor jack there. We're going to take our 17 mil, try to hook it up here. We'll zip her out of the knuckle. It's going to have a little tension on it. Don't let it scare you. Out she comes. So these bolts usually don't get stuck because they're a reduced shank. Yay, Honda. We're gonna let her down. It's gonna scare you a little bit here. Well, it didn't scare me too bad. Okay, we'll let that down out of the way, and now let's see if our cam bolt's gonna come loose. The nut there always comes off. It's just the whole bolt itself. The other one to buy the exhaust, kind of a pain to do. That's why I elected to show you this side here. I'm gonna stick a wrench on the back side of it here. See if she wiggles. Oh, hallelujah. Might just tweak the bushing. Anyhow, let's get after that a little bit. I'll move this out of the way. Oh no, she's loosey goosey. So look at that. Slid the spring right out of there. I guess I should have recorded the other side. It was much more epic. It involved old Vic, Big Nasty, Rod WD-40, smoke, fire. It was wonderful. We're gonna make sure this bolt can come out. I'm gonna get my ear protectors on here. Beautiful. So I left the nut on here. We're just gonna work it. I think she's gonna come right out, folks. Put the nut right on the floor. Get that cam off there. We'll re-grab the nut we dropped. See how loose this bolt is. See if we can give it just a tap without hurting the threads. Yes, sir. Bada bing, bada boom. It's out of here. Got Vic over here on standby. So we're gonna lube up this bolt because we don't want it to get stuck. The other thing you can do if you don't have an air hammer and there's just no option, can't get that sucker loose, just take a sawzall and right here beside the bushing where it goes up into the subframe, just cut it to get it out of there. Get a new, obviously you have to press the new bushing in or buy a new control arm and the new cam bolt. So you'll see how these go together. They go together like that. It has flat spots where this cam goes. And then it can, work like an eccentric. Or it works like an eccentric. So we want to lube her up. Let's slip that little fella right back up in there. Bushing's still good on this guy. Probably should have wire wheeled off our bolt, but I think we'll be okay. Take and tap it through with something. Block of wood. Make sure it rotates here. Get it all the way through. Come on, baby. Get up in there. Okay, that's sitting just right. We'll put our cam back on there. It's only gonna fit one way, folks. We'll give that just a snug-a-dugga with the impact. Make sure you're holding the backside of it at this point. Not too tight though, because you want it to still be able to wiggle. And then that's going to allow us to adjust our toe. Awesome. The spring insulator sits down here. We got some new ones with this van, with these springs. These are OEM springs. So it's kind of cleaned some of the grit out of there. But you'll see this little guy only fits one way. It's got a little profile to it. And so you don't want to sit right down in there just like so. So we'll just leave that there for a moment. We'll grab the spring. Here's our spring. The closely wound portion of the coil goes towards the top. You can see down here it's a little bit further apart. And it's right there. Or on these that have paint marks, green and white, the green goes up. New upper insulator. I just set that right on the spring. And then you want to remove your old one first. There's your old one. Send that baby flying. And then we're gonna get this little guy around here. I'm just gonna set it on there for right now. And we're gonna move our jack over, then we'll line it up where it needs to be. Get that so she's holding it. I'm gonna look up in here and we'll spin the spring around to where it's gonna fit down in that notch. You know what I'm saying? How the little divot was down in there, right? You're just about right. Oh, easy fella. You don't want that thing to kick out and catch you in the chin, so we're gonna move it a little bit, but it's about to. A lot of potential energy. You don't want it to become kinetic, I'll tell you that. I'll go back up with a hole in the knuckle. Alright. Close, we're gonna give her a little zippy zap here. Oops. Goes back. And then we're going to jack up just a little bit more. We got it just about ride height right now. If you have it on lift, be careful. It doesn't become off the lift. I can go up a little bit more. We'll give that a snug-a-dugga. Once we put it over on the alignment rack, I'm going to crack that back loose and then re-torque it back to, but for right now, we're in good shape. Same with the cam bolts here. Now we can adjust the toe in. See how it's moving that whole control arm? We're going to set them just about in the middle. That's where I left the last one. Thereabouts, just about in the middle, best you can. And then we'll take and snug it up, because it's all going to come loose again anyway, so we'll re-torque them once we set the alignment. There's that. Our train jack's a little jerky because it's on its second stage, so cover your eyes. There you have it, folks. That's it. Should have recorded the other side. You'll spend an hour or so over here and not very long over here. That's that. Rear springs in your Honda. So there you have it, folks. Rear springs when it goes super easy on your Honda. And like I say, if that bolt's stuck, you know, it was a matter of taking the nut off, taking the cam off, putting the nut back on, and then what you want to do is you want to go borrow a socket, a 19mm, go borrow one from your buddy, because you're going to flatten the back of it, so don't use yours. Don't use your buddies. Get a crap socket like what I do, spin the nut back on, stick it back on. Of course, then I brought out the dog, Big Nasty, is able to reach up over the exhaust, whale the living crap out of it. Kept spraying it with the WD right here, and then that didn't work. So on the back side, the bolt itself, I just heated it up, trying to just break that bond. But you don't want to heat it so much so that it ruins the bushing. So I would heat it, I'd spray it, make a lot of smoke, and then we'd air hammer it more. And after 3 or 4 times, crack loose. What's up, Miss O?
I got a phone call.
All right, stand by. All right, folks, I got a phone call, so I gotta go. Anyhow, Insta, Facebook, you guys want to do. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.